Welcome to Zoology Classroom. In today's class, we are going to learn about types of muscle fibers. So, as we have studied in your previous classes, muscle fibers are one type of tissue. There are several types of tissues present in animal bodies. So, out of them, one is connective tissue. Muscle fiber is one type of connective tissue. So these muscle fibers are three types of muscle fibers are there. They are skeletal muscle fibers, smooth muscle fibers, and cardiac muscle fibers. So these are the three different types of muscle fibers. We have already studied about these muscle fibers in previous classes. So let us once again try to remember all those information regarding these muscle fibers. So apart from these, in insects, there are two different types of muscle fibers are there, synchronous muscles and asynchronous muscles. So asynchronous muscles are also called as flight muscles. So anyway, these two types of muscle fibers are not present in your degree syllabus. This is present in PG syllabus. If you study MSc Zoology, in that course, you will come to know about the synchronous and asynchronous muscle fibers. So let us forget about the synchronous and asynchronous muscle fibers. First of all, let us know about skeletal muscles. So muscle is a tissue. As we know, tissues are made up of many cells, and all these cells are similar in structure and function. Okay, so likewise, some muscles are attached to the skeletal system. So the muscles which are attached to the skeletal system are called as skeletal muscle fibers. And these are also called as voluntary muscle fibers because the functioning of these muscle fibers is under control of our will. So at our will, we can work with them so that they are called as voluntary muscle fibers. And these muscle fibers, they will have striations. So they will appear as a striated fibers externally when we see them. They will have some striated dark striata, and immediately next to dark striata, a light striata will be there. So like this, these two types of striations, dark and light striations, will appear on the surface of these muscle fibers alternatively. So that's why they are called as striated muscle fibers also. So striated muscle fibers, skeletal muscle fibers, and voluntary muscle fibers. So these are the three names of the same muscle fibers. So here in this diagram, we can see that this is the bone, and to this bone, this muscle fiber is attached. And the muscle fibers, the skeletal muscle fibers on both ends, they will be attached to two different bones, are in some cases, they may be attached to a single bone with their two endings. So let us assume this is a, anterior end, and at this side, it will be having a posterior end. So with this anterior end, it will be attached to one bone, and with its posterior end also, this muscle fiber will be attached to another bone. So skeletal muscle fibers always they will be attached to the bones with both their anterior ending and posterior endings. So that's why they will be connected with the skeletal system. They are connected to the skeletal system or bones with their two ends. Either this what with anterior end and posterior end. With these both ends, they will be attached to bones. And uh, uh, at the outset, they will be having one connective tissue. Okay, they at the outset they will be having that connective tissue. So this is called as epimysium. So the light colored one you can see in the diagram, the light colored one, epimysium. So this is connective tissue. Sorry, in the beginning I told some information wrongly. That is, muscle fiber is not one type of connective tissue. Muscle fiber itself is one type of tissue. The connective tissue is a different type of tissue. Okay. So muscle fibers are not connective tissue. Muscle fibers, they themselves are one type of tissue. So this epimysium is a connective tissue. So epimysium is the outermost layer which covers the muscles. Skeletal muscles will be covered externally by a connective tissue called as epimysium. And inside this epimysium, we are seeing this this blue color lines, right? So in this, some bundles are there. This is one bundle, second bundle, third bundle, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Seven bundles are there. So in each bundle, again, we are seeing small cell-like structures, small fiber-like structures. So these are individual muscle fibers or muscle cells. So how these bundles are formed is that several muscle fibers will be covered with one type of connective tissue. So this blue color layer is this another connective tissue. This blue color layer is covering several number of muscle fibers. So this bundle is called as fascicle. Okay, what is fascicle? Fascicle is a bundle of several muscle fibers. And this fascicle is covered with a connective tissue. That connective tissue is called as perimysium. Okay, that connective tissue is called as perimysium. And as I already told, this fascicle is formed with the collection of many or several muscle fibers. So each muscle fiber again, it is covered with another what connective tissue that is called as endomysium. Okay, so this is called as endomysium. So endomysium is the connective tissue that covers the individual muscle fiber, and perimysium is the connective tissue that covers the a fascicle of muscle fibers or a bundle of muscle fibers. And several fascicles are again, they are covered with another connective tissue called as epimysium. So like this, each muscle fiber is surrounded by endomysium. A bundle of muscle fibers is surrounded by perimysium, and several fascicles or several bundles of muscle fibers are covered by epimysium. So all these mycia, epimycia, perimycia, and endomycia, all these mycia on both ends, that means on anterior end here and on posterior end, opposite to this anterior end, on both ends, all these mycia, they will join with each other, they will fuse together, they will twine around each other to form a thread-like structure. And this thread-like structure is called as tendon. As you have already studied in intermediate, tendon is the connective tissue that connects the muscles with bones. Okay, ligaments are the connective tissue that connect one bone with another bone. Okay, ligaments are the connective tissue. Okay, these ligaments, they will connect one bone with other bone. Tendons are also a type of connective tissue. They will, what they will do, these tendons, they will join muscle fiber with bones. Okay, so how this tendon is joining the, muscle fibers with the bone is a different story. I will tell about that in another class. Why? Because that will take some more minutes, more time. So that's why I am not going to tell about that thing. So tendon is the connective tissue. This is the fusion of all these epimycia, perimycia, and all endomysiums. All these on the end, opposite ends, on anterior end and on posterior end, all these mycia, they will join together. Like in a thread, many fibers will be there. All these fibers, they will be spirally coiled around each other to form the thread. ఓకే, సుత్తిలికోన పురికొనలు తెలుసు కదా, దాంట్లో ఎట్లయితే ఒకదానికి ఒకటి పెనవేసుకొని తాళ్ళు తయారవుతాయో, లైక్ వైజ్ సేమ్ ఇన్ సేమ్ మేనర్ ఆల్ దీస్ ఎండోమైసియా, పెరిమైసియా, ఎపిమైసియా అవన్నీ కలిసి దే విల్ ఫ్యూజ్ టుగెదర్, దే విల్ spirally coil around each other to form a thick thread-like structure. So this thread-like structure is called as tendon. So actually muscles, here in this diagram also you can see, all these muscle fibers, Okay, all these muscle fibers are present up to this portion only. Okay, muscle fibers are present up to this portion only. The remaining white color portion is only connective tissue. From this region onwards, we are having connective tissue and muscle tissue. Both tissues are present from this region, and all this region, all this area is having muscle tissue and connective tissue. But from this area to this area up to this area, only connective tissue is there. And this connective tissue is called as tendon. Okay. So like this, skeletal muscle fibers are connected to skeletal system or bones. That's why they are called as skeletal fibers. And they will be having some striations. Okay. So I am not going to explain about this slide in today's class. We will discuss about this in tomorrow's class. So tomorrow I will explain why they are having striations. Here you can see that. So this is a light band and this is dark band. This is again light band, dark band, light band, dark band. So light and dark bands are present alternatively throughout the length of this muscle fiber. Okay, throughout the length of this muscle tissue. Here we are seeing a bundle of muscle uh, or a fascicle. Okay, so in this fascicle we are seeing many muscle fibers. This is a single muscle. So in the single muscle we are seeing several myofibrils. These are myofibrils. This is a single muscle cell. So each single muscle cell will have these alternate bandings, dark band and light band. Again, dark band, light band. So alternatively, they are arranged. So how these alternatively formed dark and light bands are forming, we will see about this information in tomorrow's class. So as these striations are, as these bands are present, these fibers are called as striated muscle fibers. Okay. And all these, this thing also we will see in tomorrow's class. This is a second topic. Okay. I will explain about all these slides in tomorrow's class. So these up to this slide, the total information is covering this skeletal muscle fibers. So skeletal muscle fibers, where are they present? They are present uh, throughout our body, and they are attached to the skeletal system or bones. That's why they are called as skeletal muscle fibers. And they function, they cannot function restlessly. So continuously they cannot function. After functioning for some time, they will get tired. So they cannot function continuously. Easily they will get tired. So they are of a type that they can easily get tired. And these skeletal muscle fibers, they work at our will. So they are under control of our brain. So our will or our thoughts can control the movements of our skeletal muscle fibers. So they can be controlled. The movements of skeletal muscle fibers can be controlled, and they cannot function continuously. After functioning for some period of time, they will get easily tired. Then they need some period of rest. After taking rest again, they will get energy again. Then they will be able to function again. Okay, so these are the characters of skeletal muscle fibers, and some skeletal muscle fibers very long. They will be as long as 1 meter length. So they are very long in size, and they will get easily tired. They can function under the control of our will or our brain consciousness, and they are attached to skeletal system, and they will be having these striations. So these are the characteristics of skeletal muscle fibers, and these skeletal muscle fibers are responsible for the body movements. So as we are moving from one area to another area, we can do many things with our body. So all these are due to the functioning of skeletal muscle fibers only. Okay. And next, another topic is smooth muscle fibers. And the smooth muscle fibers are also called as uh, they're also called as what this unstriated muscle fibers. They are also called as unstriated muscle fibers. And another name given to these smooth muscle fibers is visceral muscle fibers. So they are present in the visceral organs. Smooth muscle fibers are present in the visceral organs. Visceral organs like digestive system, okay, and respiratory system, reproductive system. So like this, several and visceral organs are there. They are inside our body. Some organs are inside our body. So in such organs, these are present. Mostly they are present in the digestive system throughout the length of the alimentary canal, right from the starting of the esophagus to till the end of the anus. So the total alimentary canal is made up of the smooth muscle fibers only. They are very small in size and they are spindle shaped. Okay, the smooth muscle fibers are spindle in shape. They are very small in size and they are also having thick filaments and thin filaments like skeletal muscle fibers. Skeletal muscle fibers also will be having thick filaments and thin filaments or actin and myosin filaments. So in skeletal muscle fibers, the arrangement of thick and thin filaments will be differently than the smooth muscle fibers. In skeletal muscle fibers, these two filaments, thick filaments and thin filaments, will be arranged in a special manner. The arrangement of these thick filaments and thin filaments only responsible for the bands, light band and dark bands or striations on the skeletal muscle fibers. But the special type of arrangement is not seen in these smooth muscle fibers. So they are arranged randomly. So they are not arranged specially in a special manner. They are not arranged in a special manner in these smooth muscle fibers. So that's why they do not have any striations on this surface of the smooth muscles. And in the smooth muscle fibers, we cannot find a particular arrangement like as we have seen in the this what skeletal muscle fibers. In skeletal muscle fibers, we have seen epimysium, perimysium, and endomysium. So three different types of connective tissue arrangement is there in the this what skeletal muscle fibers. But here in smooth muscle fibers, like the different types of endomysium, perimysium, epimysium, this type of connective tissue is not present. Only one outer layer will be covered with a connective tissue. So that we can call as perimysium. Only perimysium will be there in these organisms or epimysium. So only epimysium will be there in these muscle fibers. So no endomysium or no no perimysium will be there, only epimysium will be there. So this is one type, one difference from the skeletal muscle fibers in case of the smooth muscle fibers. And they can function restlessly, continuously without getting tired. Smooth muscle fibers, they can function throughout the lifetime without getting tired. But they will function, they cannot function rigorously. So they will function slowly. And the movement of the smooth muscle fibers will be slow when compared to skeletal muscle fibers. Skeletal muscle fibers work very fastly, rigorously, but they cannot function that much rigorous when compared to skeletal muscle fibers. And these are not under the control of our will. We cannot control with our thoughts. The hey, smooth muscle fibers stop functioning. If you say like that, they cannot stop. Okay, but in case of skeletal muscle fibers, you can decide one thing and you can control the movement of your muscles. For example, if I ask you to raise your hand, raise your right hand. So you are listening to my order, and after listening to my order, you may think that as Sir asked to raise my right hand, now I will raise my right hand. So once you think, once you decide like that, then only your right hand will raise. Okay. In some cases, if you decide to not raise your hand, even though I asked for, then what will your right hand will do? Your right hand muscle will not work. Why? Because you have not given order to raise your right hand. You have said your right hand to do not raise. Okay, so that's why you can control the movements of your skeletal muscle fibers. So the skeletal muscle fibers will listen to your words. They are abide to your decisions. They are abide to your decisions or your orders. But you cannot control smooth muscle fibers like that. So no one can control the movements of smooth muscle fibers. Okay, they on their own. Why? Because they are controlled by this what autonomous nervous system. Okay, movement of functioning of smooth muscle fibers is controlled by autonomic nervous system. So only autonomic nervous system can change the movements or functioning of these muscle fibers, but not our brain. Our central nervous system cannot control the movement of this smooth muscle fibers. So they are present in this visceral organs. As they are present in visceral organs, they are called as visceral muscles also. They are present in kidneys, they are present in ovaries, and they are present in the walls of testes, they are present in the walls of uterus, they are present in the walls of male reproductive system. So totally the total visceral organs are made up of these smooth muscle fibers, so that they are called as visceral muscles. Smooth muscles, why? Because they do not have striations like skeletal muscles do. That's why they are called as smooth muscle fibers. And these are also called as involuntary muscle fibers. Involuntary, why? Because they cannot function under the control of our will. So our consciousness cannot control the movement of these muscle fibers. So that's why they are called as involuntary. So involuntary muscle fibers and unstriated, as striations are not there, unstriated. So four names are there for these muscle fibers. Smooth muscle fibers, or unstriated muscle fibers, or visceral muscle fibers, or involuntary muscle fibers. So these four names are for the same muscle fibers only, and they are present in the all these organs, all these internal body parts except heart. In heart, we have another different type of muscle fiber. So except heart, all internal organs are having these muscle fibers in them. And internal organs, they need to continuously work throughout our lifetime, right before the our birth to till the end of our life. All these muscle fibers, smooth muscle fibers, will be continuously working on. So this is the second type of muscle fiber. And third one is cardiac muscle fiber. So cardiac muscle fiber is present in heart walls. So this is only present in heart walls. That's why they are called as cardiac muscle fibers. And these cardiac muscle fibers, it is a fusion of the both skeletal and smooth muscle fibers. So like skeletal muscle fibers, it is having striations, as you can see, dark striations and light striations, or dark bands, light bands can be seen. So like smooth muscle fibers, it will function restlessly without getting tired. So in function, it is smooth muscle fiber. In structure, it is skeletal muscle fiber. So both characters can be seen in this cardiac muscle fibers. And apart from these two types of features, they are also having some special features also. The special features include they will be having this uh, uh, cross connections. So here in these muscle fibers, all the muscle fibers are connected with each other with some connections or interlinkings. So all these interlinkings, they will be represented by these intercalated discs. Actually, here the region where the cursor is moving on, okay, this total region is a single muscle fiber, and this region is another single muscle fiber. So, but both these two single muscle fibers are connected with a special structure called as intercalated disc. So, through this intercalated disc, some fluids, chemicals, minerals, and all those materials can move from this muscle fibers to next muscle fiber, from here to here. So, movement of materials, movement of ions, movement of some chemicals is made possible with this intercalated discs. So intercalated disc is the region where it is a junction where two muscle fibers are meeting. But structurally, these intercalated discs are allowing the movement of materials from one muscle fiber to another muscle fiber. So functionally, it is a syncytial cell. Okay. In case of this what uh, s- uh, uh, smooth muscle fibers, only one nuclei will be there. Only one nuclei will be there in this muscle fiber, in muscle cell. In this skeletal muscle cells also, in most cases, only one nuclei will be there. Mostly only one nuclei will be there. But here in the cardiac muscle fibers, nuclei also can move from one cell to another cell. So in some cells, many nuclei also may be present. So it is a syncytial muscle tissue. Cardiac muscle is a syncytial muscle tissue. Why? Because it is having multi-nucleate condition. Functionally, it is multi-nucleate. So many nuclei are there. So even though separated muscle fibers are connected with, as they are connected with intercalated discs, the total muscle fiber will function like a single muscle fiber. So structurally, it is a single muscle. It may not be a single muscle fiber, but functionally, it is a single muscle fiber. So that's why functionally it is syncytial. Structurally, it is different, but functionally it is a syncytial muscle fiber. So many nuclei will be there. So like this presence of these intercalated discs, presence of this syncytial state is a special character that can be seen in this cardiac muscle fibers. And due to the functioning of these muscle fibers is like smooth muscle fibers only. So that's why only we are able to survive. That's why only we are able to, our heart is able to function through our life. So this is about cardiac muscle fibers. So with this, we have finished the different types of muscle fibers. In tomorrow's class, we will see about the ultrastructure of skeletal muscle fiber. So in tomorrow's class, we will learn more about the striations or light and dark bandings of these skeletal muscle fibers in tomorrow's class. Okay, with this, today's class is over. We will meet in tomorrow's class.